Retro is making a comeback, but not in the way you might think. 2025 and beyond are packed with new games that borrow the best of old-school design, chunky sprites, side-scrolling combat, pixel art, and even arcade brawler vibes. I'm not just talking remasters either. These are brand new projects, sequels, and wild revivals that look to capture the magic of the past with gameplay that feels fresh today. In today's video, we'll be exploring 11 upcoming retro-inspired games, from superhero throwdowns to quirky cult classics, that prove nostalgia still has plenty of room to evolve. Let's dive right in.
At last, Castle Grayskull is mine!
Not so fast, Skeletor.
Whoa, what's happening? He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Cruel Destruction coming soon to all...
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction. We're starting things off with a nostalgic punch from Eternia. Development is actually underway by Bitmap Bureau, in collaboration with Mattel and being published by Limited Run Games. This partnership signals a serious commitment to honoring the original vibe. The trailer dropped at Gamescom 2025, showcasing gorgeous 2D pixel art, sprite-based character animations, and a gameplay style directly inspired by classic beat-em-ups like Golden Axe. Plot-wise, you're stepping into the boots of Prince Adam, aka He-Man, along with allies such as Teela and Man-at-Arms. And yes, Battlecat even joins the fray, facing off against Skeletor and Evil Lyn in an attempt to stop their ancient ritual that would plunge Eternia into darkness, across 12 action-packed levels. Gameplay looks to deliver a robust arcade experience, co-op brawler action, crazy moves and power-ups per character, and handcrafted combat that feels like a callback to the heyday of arcade crowd-pleasers. No release date has been confirmed yet, though sources suggest it's aiming for a 2026 window after being officially announced at Gamescom. Platforms confirmed include PC, Xbox Series XS, PS5 and Nintendo Switch, with potential for nostalgic physical editions to lure collectors. I'm seriously excited. We're expecting a polished, retro-chic brawler that doesn't cheap out on visuals or spicy classic gameplay, placing us right back in arcade glory, but with a modern sheen and familiar characters we love. Scott Pilgrim X. Sliding into a far more chaotic but equally charming adventure, Scott Pilgrim X was revealed at Summer Game Fest 2025. It'll deliver an entirely new story set after the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off anime series, where Scott and Ramona Flowers, already a couple now, face off against strange invaders in Toronto, robots, demons, and plenty of wacky factions like militant vegans. Gameplay flips expectations. We can expect a sprawling, interconnected world you can explore at your own pace. Think River City Ransom vibes. But without gating your moves, everything's available from the start. It's wild co-op mayhem, local or online, up to 4 players. Stylish combos, improvised weapons, hidden quests, and that signature tribute games polish. Plus, chiptune rock from Anamanaguchi returning on sound duties. From a development standpoint, it's being created by Tribute Games, the team behind TMNT Shredder's Revenge, with creative direction by series creator Brian Lee O'Malley. He's writing the story, and even though it's a fresh adventure, there are nods and timelines linking it to previous Scott Pilgrim lore via the anime. We're expecting it to launch in 2026 for Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation and Xbox, though no exact date yet. I love how playful and boundary-pushing this feels. Open-ended beat-em-up action with authenticity, chaos, and polish all in one.
Oh, the big cheese is up to his old tricks again, huh? Well, we've got 9 lives, plus continues.
And when the game gets tough, you know who to call.
We are the Samurai Pizza Cats!
Samurai Pizza Cats Blast from the past. For once, let's start with the release window. 2026 is when we can expect Samurai Pizza Cat's Blast from the past to hit shelves. Development is being handled by Blast Zero, previously known as Tanuki Creative Studio, with publishing by Red Dunes, and the project already has fans buzzing because of its pedigree. The series' original scriptwriter, Satoru Akahori, is back on board supervising the story, and most of the Japanese voice cast from the 90s anime has signed on too. Plot details are being kept light, but the pitch is a new, original adventure for Speedy Cerviche, Polly Esther, and Guido Anchovy, as they once again defend Little Tokyo from a re-emerging Big Cheese scheme. Knowing Akahori's writing, expect metagags, slapstick antics, and a surprising amount of heart beneath the parody. Gameplay has been teased as an action RPG, rather than a straight brawler. That means combo-driven fights, RPG stat growth, exploration of Little Tokyo's districts, and a mission structure where you swap between different Pizza Cats. Platforms haven't been fully locked beyond PC and all major consoles, but we can reasonably expect PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch successors in the lineup. Personally, seeing a niche 90s property revived with such respect feels like a perfect collision of retro charm and modern polish.
A clue, a lead. What more could a mouse detective want?
Mouse PI for Hire. This one looks like a 1930s cartoon pulled straight out of an old reel, but turned into a boomer shooter. Development is being handled by Fumi Games, with publishing duties under Playside Studios. And yes, Troy Baker is voicing our trenchcoat-wearing mouse detective, Jack Pepper. Pepper's up against crime syndicates and corrupt city officials in the noir-style Mouseburg. While the plot draws inspiration from classic detective fiction, it's the weaponry that takes the cheese. Literally, cheese grenades, dynamite bouquets, and slapstick-infused firearms give every fight a Looney Tunes energy. Gameplay is shaping up like a classic arena shooter. Quick strafes, quirky arsenal, and frantic combat sequences with cel-animated flair. Levels look hand-drawn, like you're literally playing inside a rubber hose cartoon. Solo play will keep the noir detective pacing front and center. We are expecting it to launch sometime in 2025 on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. I can already imagine how fun it'll be to bounce from a smoky jazz club shootout into a chase with a TNT bouquet in hand. Honestly, I can't wait to play this one. Super Meat Boy 3D. Our next game is coming from Team Meat. And what's wild is that this project was once a joke pitch way back in 2014. Now, in 2025, it's real. And that instantly makes me curious. Rather than sticking to the classic 2D formula, this sequel shifts Meat Boy into a fully 3D platforming space, while still clinging to its masochistic precision DNA. The plot isn't the focus here. Meat Boy's still on a mission to save Bandage Girl from the ridiculous villainy of Dr. Fetus. But the setup is mostly an excuse for cruel platforming challenges. What's different now is how 3D traversal changes the formula. Wall running, diagonal jumps, rotating hazards, and a camera system that tries to keep the flow as seamless as the original. Gameplay is the real draw, with hundreds of micro-levels designed to punish your reflexes. Expect instant restarts, speedrunning leaderboards, and the kind of rage-inducing obstacles that made the series famous. The game is slated for 2026 on PC and consoles, though exact dates haven't been nailed down yet. I'll admit, part of me is terrified. If the 2D versions wrecked my thumbs, I can only imagine what a 3D Meat Boy will do. Dead Static Drive. Plot takes the spotlight here because you're driving across a crumbling America where everyday life mutates into a surreal nightmare. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto meets Twin Peaks. Your character must survive the road trip from hell, battling cosmic horrors, cultists, and even parasitic creatures hiding in diners or gas stations. Development has been long, but it's helmed by Mike Blackney and his indie studio Team Fan Club with support from Xbox. It's been described as Grand Theft Cthulhu, which honestly feels accurate given the mashup of survival and driving mechanics. Gameplay will give us exploration, survival, and action. You'll scavenge supplies, choose routes across a branching map, and fight or flee when eldritch monsters appear. The stops you'll take, be it a motel, convenience store, or a junkyard, will become a tense gamble. Is it a safe place to rest, or a death trap hiding something unspeakable? We are expecting this one to finally arrive in 2025 for PC and Xbox Series XS, with Game Pass availability on day one. As someone who loves weird road trip horror, I'm hyped to see how choice-driven travel mixes with retro-styled survival tension. It's one of those games that feels instantly cult classic.
Hanging out, getting buzzed.
I've got to get out of this place.
Mixtape. Let's start with the story. Mixtape follows three high school friends on their final night before graduation, driving toward one last party while reminiscing through memories shaped by music. The levels are framed by a track, with gameplay tied to those songs. It could be skateboarding, sneaking into arcades, or slow dancing in a gym. It's like flipping through a personal scrapbook that just happens to be interactive. Development is led by Beethoven and Dinosaur, the same team that created The Artful Escape. They've doubled down on narrative-driven design, and this time the focus is on nostalgic, teenage rites of passage rather than cosmic guitar solos. Gameplay is like a collection of vignettes, mini-scenarios tied together by a licensed soundtrack, featuring iconic bands like Joy Division, Smashing Pumpkins, and Iggy Pop. It's all about immersion into the character's emotional journey. We can expect Mixtape in 2025 for PC, Xbox Series XLS, and PlayStation 5, plus Game Pass availability. Thus already feels personal and human, less about winning and more about reliving moments, with music as the connective tissue. It's basically nostalgia reimagined as gameplay.
Were you expecting someone else? Uh-oh.
Bubsy in the Purrfect collection. Here's one with a firm date. Bubsy in the Purrfect collection drops on September 9th, 2025. This is being developed by Limited Run Games in collaboration with Atari, and it's essentially the most ambitious Bubsy preservation project to date. Gameplay here is less new mechanics and more curated anthology. Every Bubsy game, from the original SNES platformers through the infamous 3D, is being bundled together, remastered with modern features like rewind, save states, and museum-style extras. You can think of it as a playable documentary of Bubsy's weird, polarizing career. The plot, well, Bubsy doesn't really need one across these games. It's usually stop the woolies, save some yarn, crack some puns. But the bonus is a new in-game museum, concept art galleries, and dev commentary that contextualizes how Bubsy was created, loved, and memed. Platform support is broad: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Honestly, I think it's hilarious we've reached a point where Bubsy is treated like a retro gaming artifact, and I'm kind of into it. Absolum is being described as a fast-paced, retro-styled hack-and-slash RPG where precision and resource management matter. You'll fight through labyrinthine levels, chaining combos while managing stamina and magical energy, and the combat has been shown to mix weapon-based melee. Environments range from ruined cathedrals to corrupted forests, each designed with heavy pixel art detail and layered atmospheric effects. For the story, you'll play as a knight bound to an ancient curse, forced to fight through realms of twisted beings to either break free or embrace the corruption. The choice system supposedly alters the ending, giving replay value beyond the core combat grind. Development comes from Guard Crush, alongside Supermonks and Diatemu, but keeping it side-scrolling. We are expecting a 2025 release window, with PC, Xbox Series XS, and PlayStation 5 confirmed. And if you're someone who grew up juggling Symphony of the Night with dungeon crawlers, this could click big if tuned right. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. This one's more bombastic. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is shaping up as a retro-inspired arcade brawler. Development is reportedly being handled by Tribute and Dotemu with Marvel Games, targeting that sweet spot between flashy comic book spectacle and chunky arcade mechanics. Plot centers around Earth under siege by Galactus, with the Silver Surfer caught between loyalty and rebellion. You'll fight alongside a rotating roster of cosmic heroes like Nova, Captain Marvel, Adam Warlock, and even some deep cuts from Marvel's intergalactic lore. The campaign is structured across different planets, Xandar, Nowhere, and Sakaar, all serving as a stage packed with enemies and boss fights against villains like Annihilus or Ronan the Accuser. Gameplay is 4-player co-op, with classic side-scrolling combat, environmental hazards, and cinematic special moves that nod to 90s arcade cabinets. Expect unlockable characters, couch co-op, and online matchmaking all baked in. We are expecting a 2025 release on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch 2, though the exact launch date hasn't been locked. And if it captures the spirit of those X-Men and Avengers arcades, this could be a sleeper hit. Voivod, the Nuclear Warrior. This is a true passion project, born from a Kickstarter campaign led by indie developer Nicola Piovesan, with direct creative involvement from members of the Canadian metal band Voivod themselves. That means the art, music, and even voiceovers carry the band's DNA, making this more than just a tie-in. It's practically a playable concept album. Plot puts you in the boots of the Voivod, a post-apocalyptic warrior piecing together fragments of his shattered mind across hostile wastelands. Environments shift between ruined cities, alien landscapes, and nightmarish dreamscapes, all drawn with raw, comic book energy. The levels reflect pieces of his fractured psyche. This is a side-scrolling Metroidvania, with run-and-gun action, exploration, and unlockable abilities that let you backtrack to hidden areas. You can expect heavy emphasis on atmosphere and music-driven pacing, where riffs don't just score the action, they drive it. We are probably looking at a 2026 release, with PC and consoles planned, though no specific lineup has been nailed down yet. For me, this one feels special. Part game, part art experiment, part rock opera, exactly the kind of weird retro revival I live for. So that's 11 retro-inspired games we can expect across 2025 and the years beyond. It's really the variety here. We've got action RPGs, experimental road trip horror, anime revivals, and even cosmic brawlers, all drawing from the DNA of classic gaming. Some of these titles are coming from big names, others from small indie teams, but all of them share that spark of nostalgia with modern twists. Personally, I can't wait to see how fans respond once these hit consoles and PC. Which of these caught your eye the most? Drop your favorites in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more deep dives into gaming's past, present, and future.